Time is one of the biggest illusions we get caught in. We check the clock, scroll through social media, and notice others getting promotions, buying homes, or someone younger starting a business or gaining attention. And a thought appears, I'm too late. But here's something that can shift the way you see life. You are not late. Time is relative, not a deadline. We've been taught to treat life like a checklist. Graduate by a certain age, secure a job soon after, marry by another, achieve success by a set number, and if we miss those points, we feel as though we've failed or fallen behind. The truth is, those timelines are invented. They are social expectations, not universal rules. Your timeline belongs only to you and is not supposed to mirror anyone else's. Success, fulfillment, and growth have no expiration date. The idea that you must start or finish by a certain age is unfounded. There is no missed boat. What exists is your life and the choices you make, beginning now. Ask yourself, who decided what late even means? Who created the rules you measure yourself against? Often it's not you, it's pressure from culture, family, media, or the imagined version of the life you thought you'd have. But those outside voices have no authority over what you can achieve. Time does not determine success. Your dedication does. When you learned to walk as a child, no one said it's too late. People understood growth takes time. Effort was celebrated, but somewhere along the way we stopped valuing the process and began judging ourselves for not having everything resolved quickly. The issue isn't time itself, but our beliefs about what time should mean. Every day, people around the world start anew. They change careers, end relationships, launch businesses, learn skills, or write books. None of them are too late, because the term simply doesn't apply. When you're working towards something, time feels like an obstacle only when you remain still. And if you think I've wasted too much time already, consider this. Maybe you needed that time. It may have been preparation. You were gathering experiences, lessons, and resilience. Everything needed for the next stage. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from knowledge. That is not being late. It is being ready. This aligns with a principle known as neuroplasticity. It's the idea that the brain can change and grow at any age. You are built for reinvention. Both your mind and body are designed to learn, adapt, and start again. This fact alone disproves the idea that it's ever too late. Even your biology rejects that belief. What matters is not the time on the clock, the date on your birth certificate, or how far ahead someone else appears. It's that you choose now to keep going, knowing your best days are still ahead. You still have ideas to share, goals to build, and contributions to make, and the right time to begin is always the present. So the next time you think it's too late, pause and ask, unless that answer comes from your own genuine decision that you are done, it's not valid, it's just noise. And your task is to tune out that noise and start anyway. You are not late, you are exactly on time for your own path, growth, and moment. This could be the start of everything you've been waiting for, but it begins only when you take the first step. Comparison is one of the most harmful habits we develop, and it often works quietly. You might feel fine, then open your phone, see someone else's highlight reel, and suddenly question your goals, timing, and worth. That's how quickly comparison can drain motivation. For many, it's the main reason they never begin something new or pursue a dream. The modern world makes comparison effortless. Social media turns life into a public scoreboard. You see someone younger buying a home and feel behind. You see someone your age running a thriving business and start doubting your own worth. You see an image of a perfect life and think you missed your chance. But comparison is not reality, it's a distortion. You're comparing your unedited daily life with someone else's carefully chosen moment. That's neither fair nor accurate. More importantly, comparison doesn't inspire, it holds you back. It fuels self-doubt instead of progress. If you believe you must match someone else's pace or results to try it all, you'll never start. That's the falsehood at the center of comparison. It's powerful because it shifts your attention away from what you can control and locks it onto something you never could. Someone else's journey. Picture being in a race, but spending the entire time watching the runner in the next lane. You'll stumble, lose speed, and possibly veer off track. That's what comparison does. It pulls your attention away from your own growth. The truth is, the only race that matters is the one you're running with yourself. No one else is on your timeline. No one else has lived your life. And no one else carries your perspective, your voice, or your purpose. Comparison also makes you forget how far you've already come. It replaces your progress with someone else's achievements. But success isn't one size fits all. Just because someone reached a milestone earlier or took a different path doesn't mean you're wrong. It only means they're on their own route. Stop looking sideways and start looking inward. There's a saying, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. It's not just a clever phrase, it's a mindset shift. You have no way of knowing the struggles behind someone else's progress. The late nights, the losses, the rejections, the debt, or the hidden failure. What you see is a single polished moment, which says nothing about your value or potential. You are not behind, and you are not less. You are simply at a different point in your own story. Every person you admire once stood where you are now, wondering if it was too late, questioning their abilities and comparing themselves to those ahead. The difference is, they kept going. They stayed focused on their lane. If you truly want to move forward, you must stop measuring yourself against others. Your strength is in your focus. Your progress depends on blocking out the noise and listening to your own voice. The one that says, "This matters to me, I'm not giving up. I'll do this even if I'm the last one to start." There is no prize for being first. The reward comes from being true to your journey. When you stop comparing, you regain your power. You stop chasing timelines that don't fit your life, and begin building something meaningful, lasting, and your own. So next time you catch yourself scrolling, judging, or doubting, pause, take a breath, and remind yourself, I'm not them. And that's enough. Then return to your path and take the next step. Because forward is forward, and your lane is waiting. Your brain is not fixed. That's one of the most important truths to remember, and science supports it. The belief that you are too old to start, too set in your ways to change, or too far gone to return is not only wrong, it's outdated and false. Neuroscience has shown something remarkable. Your brain is constantly changing. It is designed to adapt, learn, and grow at any age. This ability, known as neuroplasticity, makes it clear that it's never too late. For years, many believed the brain was fixed by adulthood, habits unchangeable, personality set, and growth limited. We now know this is false. Your brain is more like clay, flexible, responsive, and always ready to be reshaped through new experiences, skills, and even beliefs. Each time you learn something new, take a risk, or break an old pattern, you are not only changing your behavior, you are physically reshaping your brain. For example, if you've always believed you are bad with money, not creative, or unable to stick to goals, that belief is simply a well-worn pathway your brain has traveled repeatedly until it became automatic. The moment you challenge it, by reading about personal finance, practicing a creative skill, or setting and keeping a small goal, you begin forming new neural pathways. The more you use those new paths, the stronger they become, until one day they replace the old ones entirely. You have changed not just your actions, but your identity. This is why it's never too late to start. Your brain is built to grow. The same brain that learned to tie shoes, drive a car, or use new technology, can also learn to run a business, write a book, speak another language, or heal from the past. Age doesn't stop this process, inaction does. Like muscles in the body, the brain grows stronger with use and weaker when neglected. The more you challenge it, the more it adapts. This process also applies to your emotional life. If you've struggled with anxiety, self-doubt, or fear of failure, those feelings are real but linked to thought patterns that can be changed. You can train your brain to respond differently, recognize unhelpful thoughts, replace them with more empowering ones, and build resilience, taking action even in the face of fear. This is not abstract motivation. It is science. Even better, you don't need massive changes to begin. Small, consistent actions are enough to start the rewiring process. Over time, they reshape both how you think and how you live. Something as small as journaling for 5 minutes, walking for 10, reading a single page, or making one phone call, can start to shift how you think and feel. Every small choice you make toward growth strengthens your belief in yourself, and belief is everything. When you believe you are capable, even in a small way, you act differently, and those actions create new results. So if you're telling yourself you're too late, too old, or too far behind, pause. That's only a thought, and thoughts are not facts. You can't change the past, but you can choose what happens next. Your next move doesn't need to be huge. It only needs to be genuine and yours. This moment is your opportunity, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, but now. You are one decision away from momentum, growth, and renewed belief. The best part, that decision is yours alone to make. No one can stop you or make it for you. Decide and then move forward, because the life you want, the one you fear you're late for, hasn't gone anywhere. It's still waiting. Regret is one of the heaviest emotions we carry. It lingers in the background, reminding you of what you didn't do, what you missed, or what you feel you should have started earlier. It's easy to let regret convince you that because you didn't start then, you shouldn't start now. But that's the mistake most people make. Regret isn't a reason to stop. It's a signal that something still matters to you. It's a sign the dream, idea, or goal is still alive. If it's alive, it's not too late. Many let regret become a wall, proof they've already failed. But regret doesn't have to be a wall. It can be a window into what you care about most. A window into the version of yourself that still wants to rise. You regret what you didn't do because a part of you still wants to do it. That spark is not something to ignore or feel ashamed of. It's something to follow. We're often taught to hide regret, to bury it, to pretend it isn't there, but regret only has power when it stays hidden. When you bring it into the open, it becomes fuel. Yes, maybe you didn't start that project years ago. Yes, you may have walked away from an opportunity or stayed silent when you wanted to speak up, but the fact it still matters to you means you still have a choice. Use regret to hold yourself back, or use it to lift yourself higher. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has felt regret. No one gets every opportunity at the perfect time. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is how they respond to it. One group lets regret define them, while the other lets it drive them. So how do you turn regret into fuel? Start by changing the story you tell yourself. Instead of saying, "I missed my chance," say, "I've learned from the past, and now I understand exactly why this matters to me." That shift changes everything. Regret becomes a teacher, not a punishment. It turns into insight, clarity, and the emotional push that gets you moving again. Regret carries powerful energy. It can stay with you for years. That energy can remain locked inside, slowly wearing you down, or it can be redirected into action. Use it to write the first page, take the walk, apply for the job, start the conversation, or say yes even when fear tells you not to. That's how you take power back from regret. You move forward even with it still present. Often regret is joined by the fear that it's too late, that you've missed your moment, or that others are too far ahead. That fear is simply your brain's way of trying to protect you from failure. But the truth is, choosing not to act because of regret is the only guaranteed failure. When you do nothing, nothing changes. When you act, you bring possibility back into your life. One of the most freeing realizations you can have is this: you are allowed to begin again as many times as it takes. Regret doesn't cancel your future, it shapes it, adds depth to it, and gives it meaning. Many of the most impactful ideas, careers, and achievements came from people who grew tired of regret and decided to take action. So if you're feeling that heavy weight in your chest, wondering if you've missed your shot, remember, you haven't. You feel regret because the dream is still alive inside you. That's not failure. It's inner wisdom telling you it's time now, not yesterday. You can't change the past, but you can make peace with it by using it. Let regret be the reason you move, not the reason you stay stuck. Let it sharpen your focus, deepen your purpose, and guide you to take one small, brave step. The moment you do, you turn regret from a burden into momentum. The dream hasn't ended. It's waiting for you to choose it again, and you can do that right now. You don't need to have it all figured out to begin. Waiting for the perfect plan is one of the fastest ways to remain stuck. We live in a world that celebrates perfection, polished results, and highlight reels, rarely showing the messy middle. This can lead you to believe you must know exactly what to do, where to go, and how it will work before you're allowed to start. But the truth is, clarity comes from movement, not from standing still. Too often uncertainty becomes an excuse not to act. One group lets regret define them, while the other uses it to drive them forward. Turning regret into motivation starts with changing the story you tell yourself. Instead of saying, "I missed my chance," say, "I've learned from the past, and now I understand why this matters." That perspective changes everything. Regret becomes a teacher instead of a punishment. It becomes insight, clarity, and the emotional push to move forward. Regret carries strong energy. it can remain with you for years. That energy can stay locked inside, wearing you down, or it can be directed into action. Use it to take the first step, write the first page, take the walk, apply for the job, start the conversation, or say yes even when fear holds you back. This is how you take back power from regret. You move forward with it beside you. Fear often appears alongside regret. The fear that it's too late, that the moment has passed, or that others are far ahead. That fear is simply the brain's way of trying to protect you from failure. But in truth, avoiding action because of regret guarantees nothing will change. Acting brings possibility back into your life. One of the most freeing realizations is that you can start again as many times as needed. Regret doesn't erase your future, it shapes it, giving it meaning and depth. Many impactful ideas, careers and achievements came from people who grew tired of regret and took action. If you feel that heavy pull of missed chances, understand that you haven't lost your opportunity. Regret often means your goal is still alive within you. That's not failure, it's a signal to act now. You can't change the past, but you can make peace with it by using it. Let regret be the reason you move, not the reason you remain stuck. Allow it to sharpen your focus, deepen your purpose, and guide your next step. The moment you take action, regret shifts from a weight to momentum. The dream is still there. It's waiting for you to choose it again. You don't need every detail in place to begin. Waiting for perfect conditions is one of the fastest ways to stay. We live in a world that celebrates perfection and polished results, rarely showing the difficult process behind success. This can make people believe they must have complete clarity before starting. The truth is, clarity comes from movement, not from standing still. Many people let uncertainty stop them, thinking I don't have the full plan yet, or what if I make a mistake? This waiting leads to analysis paralysis, going over the same ideas for months or years. What's often missed is that most answers reveal themselves only after you take the first step. You learn by doing. Confidence comes from trying, making mistakes, adjusting and continuing. Growth works this way. Those who achieved meaningful things didn't start with everything figured out. They had a vision, but the details came through action, step by step. It's fine if the path looks unclear. What matters is trusting yourself enough to begin, even without all the answers. That's not weakness, it's courage and leadership. Starting without knowing it all gives you room to grow and adapt. It allows flexibility, which opens doors to better options and new directions. None of this happens without the first step. Not starting is already a kind of failure. It's choosing to remain where you are. Even mistakes move you forward by teaching valuable lessons. Those lessons are worth more than any perfect plan on paper. People who create, achieve or overcome share one thing in common: they started before they were ready. What sets action takers apart is not certainty or perfection, but the choice to move ahead despite uncertainty. You can always adjust as you go. Nothing is fixed. You don't need to see the entire path, just the first few steps. Once you begin, the rest starts to unfold. People, ideas, resources, and opportunities often appear after you start. If you've been holding on to an idea, waiting for the right moment, this is it. Start messy, start unsure, start small, but the clarity you want will come from moving forward. It's waiting for you on the other side of action. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need the courage to begin. And when you do, you'll discover something important. You were never meant to have all the answers at the start. They are found along the way. You don't need approval to begin. Many people delay progress because they wait for validation. They wait for someone to say they're ready. They wait for the perfect opportunity to appear. They wait for others to believe in them before they believe in themselves. The truth is, you don't need anyone else's agreement to take the first step. The only permission that matters is your own. If you've been avoiding your goals or delaying a new project because you're waiting for someone to tell you it's acceptable, this is the sign to stop waiting. No one owes you an invitation to begin. You have the right to choose your direction, to decide your dreams matter, and to act whether or not others support you. This is difficult because most of us are taught to seek approval. From a young age, we're encouraged to follow rules, gain recognition from authority figures, and fit into set expectations. While that has its place, when it comes to your personal goals and potential, waiting for permission is limiting. Only you can decide what's right for you. You hold the power to make choices that match your values and aspirations. If you don't give yourself that power, you hand it to someone else. someone who may never understand your vision or capability. By waiting for others to approve, you allow their limitations to restrict your possibilities. No one will appear with a perfect plan or step-by-step guide from your current position to your goal. That's not how life works. It requires independence, decision-making, and belief in your ability to handle uncertainty. The only permission you need is the willingness to start, even without complete clarity. If you keep waiting for the perfect signal, you may wait forever. Think about the people who made an impact, those who created something from nothing. They didn't wait for someone to say, "Now is the time." They didn't wait for approval to follow their vision or to challenge boundaries. They moved forward with the belief that they had something valuable to share. They didn't allow anyone's doubts, not even their own, to stop them. And you have that same ability. It doesn't matter if it's your first attempt or if others think your idea won't work. It doesn't matter if you feel uncertain or if past efforts didn't succeed. What matters is giving yourself permission to begin. That single choice can start your journey of growth, achievement, and self-discovery. As you move forward, confidence will build. The first step is always the most challenging, but each action afterward makes the next easier. You'll learn, adjust, and grow in ways you may not expect. Along the way, you might meet people who encourage you, but that's secondary. What truly carries you forward is your belief in yourself. It's not only about starting, it's about continuing without waiting for perfection or outside approval. In most cases, the only person who must believe in your goal is you. Trusting yourself to take that first step shows the world how to treat you. It's a statement: I believe in myself, and that's enough. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. This is your green light. You don't need perfect timing or anyone's approval. You need trust in yourself, and the understanding that you are worthy of your own time, effort, and commitment. When you act from that belief, the world often responds in ways that open new possibilities. It's not luck, it's self-belief in motion. So stop waiting and stop seeking permission. Your goals and future begin with one simple choice: deciding to believe in yourself and taking the first step. You're ready. It's time to move forward.